most of these tolerant videos have already been responded to, but I got a pretty interesting piece of information last night that I wanted to share. Since everybody in this tolerant, accepting Magic the Gathering community, including Wizards of the Coast, have been so tolerant and accepting of me, and just so heartbroken that due to many years of targeted harassment, cosplayer Christine Sprankle has decided to leave the cosplay community. Many years of targeted harassment. She had finally, in a fit of overwhelmed rage, quit the community because of an unrelenting assault by me. Or maybe it was something else. We'll talk about that later.
If you don't know who Jeremy is, he's formerly known as MTG Headquarters, currently known as Unsleeved Media, self-proclaimed meme lord / shitlord.
Whoa. It's good to see my reputation precedes me.
And he harasses people.
How much?
A lot.
A lot?
A whole lot.
Look, I have no high ground to stand on with appearances, but my dude, what is going on with those fingernails? But why did you then, a minute later, say this?
It is true. He never specifically told people to go harass these people or go send them death threats. If we're trying to think of him as a criminal, with his videos and him sending his followers to harass these people, it is true. He never specifically told people to go harass these people or go send them death threats. The way we need to do it is to scare him enough to make him stop. And he's the kind of person who's built these mental walls to where he can take a big beating mentally and still keep going, knowing that technically there's not really a lot that anybody can do.
It's called not being a pussy. It's like somehow to you, you think saying I'm not a pussy is an insult. For the rest of the people out there, thank you for the compliment.
At this point, I think the best course of action is to continue reporting him, continue mass flagging him, and assuming we can actually keep it up enough to where we wither him down, to where he doesn't feel it's worth continuing this.
Now, I'm no expert, but it kind of sounds like you're trying to cyberbully me. Are you trying to cyberbully me, young man? Because that, as Magic players, we don't stand for.
I personally hope that their lawyers do a deep dive into his content, finding any straws they can grasp for slander or libel or defamation of character, find some unfair copyrighted material usage, just pummel this guy with legal fees. If YouTube can't or won't stop him from making hateful YouTube videos, then make him financially incapable of producing YouTube videos. Report every piece of agreement-breaking bullshit he posts, be it on Twitter, YouTube, wherever. Stop his ability to spread hate before we lose more prominent, positive community members.
I'm sorry, Manalik, level 2 judge and DCI card holder for Magic the Gathering. It sounds like you're trying to bully me. It sounds like you're trying to bully anyone who might agree with me. In fact, it sounds like what you're trying to do is subject me to some targeted harassment, Justin.
Thankfully, I'm pretty sure that my mission of raising a positive, caring community has been successful. Like him, you're simply not welcome here.
Like him, you're simply not welcome here.
You carry the freedom of speech, but not the freedom of consequence. Jeremy had been brought under scrutiny because of the allegations by Sprankle of harassment.
Respect the woman!
This brings me to my next point, and the point I'm still extremely angry over. The circumstances around Sprankles and other members of the community leaving.
I'm glad you brought that up, friend. I'm glad you brought up that alleged harassment. Because I've got something I'd like to share. I've got something that I'm kind of pissed off about too, friend. Tweedledee! We have a comment you made to your patrons just a few days after quitting the Magic the Gathering cosplay community due to years of sustained harassment by Midwestern bearded devilman Jeremy. Let's take a read at what you let your patrons know. After this rather turbulent week in the community, the only thing I can think is one of the last lines by Prince Esalius from Romeo and Juliet. All are punished. Interesting. One might say that's very similar to when I said, burn it all down. There are no winners in a situation like this. My Twitter is currently in the hands of friends. These people are so fragile. Oh my God. They literally can't control themselves from going on Twitter, so they have to hand it off to friends. Watch this. Poop. You can also uninstall the app if you can't handle it, but I digress. My Patreon is currently on hold. Had no idea that was a feature, which means that patrons will no longer be judged. In her, this isn't even credit. She said she was going to quit, and it looks like she has closed her Patreon down. Good. You don't get any credit for putting in your 2 weeks notice and that not showing up after 2 weeks. But here's an interesting part. Before the end of December, I will be deleting my Patreon. I have finally been able to sign up for my CNA certification classes that start in January. You mean that it wasn't due to a prolonged harassment campaign by me? Are you sure, Christine? Are you sure that it wasn't that you had other plans? It wasn't that you had already applied for school and been accepted? The waitlist was a little long, but I feel like this is perfect timing to focus on something else and reflect on myself and try to be a better person. Well, you know where I would start, Christine? Is probably not by lying about somebody on social media, calling them a harasser, especially in today's climate where you are guilty first. I don't think you can qualify yourself as a bad person for making this mistake, and I don't hate you. You made a mistake. What bothers me is that you have time to write letters to Patreon, you have time to do interviews with Kotaku, you have time to do interviews with Polygon, but you don't have time to send out a single tweet letting people know that perhaps you misspoke. You could say, Jeremy was an asshole to me 6 months ago on a live stream and has sent out 2 tweets, and I don't like him very much. But the truth is, I was going off to school. Oh, and about quitting cosplay, by the way. A lot of you have asked if I will still be cosplaying. I'll be taking a break from all cosplay for a bit. Never said I was quitting cosplay altogether. As for Magic cosplay, like I said numerous times, I still would like to finish the last few you guys helped me buy materials for and do photo shoots of. I won't hold my breath. I was thinking of maybe doing a mailing list via email for patrons so that they can see the photos. Or another way, if someone has a great suggestion, like maybe private Instagram. Interesting. Having a private Instagram that you grant people access to for money? That seems interesting. With a link to a Dropbox to get my high-res pictures. What do people need your high-res pictures for? This just sounds creepy to me. I mean, when you read the comments, by the way, on here, there's like 13 or 10 comments or something. All of them are dudes. Imagine my shock. So, Christine, I ask for somebody who's trying to be a better person. I think we agree that I could be a lot nicer. And maybe in 2017, I'll work on that. But in the middle of your interviews with magazines writing hit pieces on me and communicating with the people who pay you money via a private Instagram account, could you maybe make a little time to send out, 200 characters letting people know that, in fact, maybe it was a little disingenuous of you to say that you were leaving because of prolonged harassment. Because now there are numerous articles using my full name, calling me a harasser, and as you've seen, several hilariously bad videos who listened and believed. I await your apology, Christine. And Wizards of the Coast, I know you abused this situation. You saw this as your opportunity to ban me, and I'm coming for you too, buds. Believe me.